Welcome to Football or Soccer, the podcast with me, Sam Palmer. We've got Sam Collins and Chris Dyson with us today. No Tony. Seems to be when he goes on holiday, he doesn't care about the old podcast. So there's a big stewards on tone at the minute, I've got to say.
Rubbish.
Yeah, but this is our first transatlantic podcast. So I'm
Yeah.
in Dubai. Chris, where are you?
I'm in Ottawa. We couldn't be in two different parts of the world. It's minus 15 out there right now. It is
Jesus Christ.
literally Baltic.
Oh.
What is it where you are, Sam? It's about 30 degrees.
It's not that hot here. It's not nothing like it. It's like 24, 25. Quite cold in the morning actually, and at night. So it's quite weird. Like when you go to breakfast in the morning, you put on a jumper definitely.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's dissimilar to Beverly Hills where you are, Sam. I'd say it's probably. There was a couple of days actually this week that Beverly Hills was actually warmer.
Do any of you know where this is?
Oh.
No, where are you?
Hang on. Let me have a guess. Wait there.
Ojai.
Ojai.
Correct.
There you go. Beautiful part of the world.
We're at the inn.
Yeah.
So, lovely.
Beautiful.
So we're all across the world today. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's quite funny. So I'm back on normal time watching football again, and
Of course you are. No morning
back-
game.
yeah, I've got to say, it half take up a lot of your day.
It certainly does.
So we're in the mecca of football in Dubai, the Dow and Anchor in the Jumeirah Beach Hotel. Chris knows the pub very well. So we're in there from about 4:30 to about 11 p.m. on football days. We're in there Saturday and Sunday. It's hard to say to the missus, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna be with you today. I'm going drinking 25 beers while watching football for the podcast." So I've seen some football, so you'll have to forgive me if some of my recollections of games is a little bit hazy.
The first couple you're an expert on, but the last one is like
I've got to say, well, we've seen some good games over the last couple of days and some absolute dross. We watched the two dross ones, I'm going to say. Sam's rolling his eyes because he knows what's coming. It was West Ham and Brighton was so boring. And Chelsea Everton was the same game, basically.
Chelsea Everton
Wasn't good, was it, Sam?
Oh, it was amazing. Chelsea Everton. Look at the
Yeah,
top.
well, good for you.
2 weeks on the trot.
No, Everton. I mean, that
Amazing.
was really boring. I was up at 6 o'clock yesterday morning watching that, and I was absolute. I'm not even gonna lie. I fell back asleep in the game. It was that boring. They just had nothing up front. I can't even remember the Nicholas Jackson shot, which was slightly behind him that he hit the keeper. I mean,
but Sanchez weirdly was the man of the match, wasn't he?
Do you know what? He's getting better game by game. I mean, as you know, I was a very big vocal, I wouldn't say hater of his, but just very much doubted that he had the ability to be that top keeper that a team like Chelsea needs in between the sticks. But he's definitely improving himself as a shot stopper, which I think he's always been good at. But if he can improve the control with the ball at his feet and his distribution, I mean, he may be able to step it up. But it's just incredible how Maresca is just improving all of these players like no end. I mean, like Enzo Fernandez is another example. I mean, he was £100 million flop, and he's just. I mean,
Caicedo as well.
Well, Caicedo was still good last season under Poch, but he's just another one that stepped up. I think once a lot of these players took their time to settle in and were like really bedded into the club and have done a full season, now it's time to start season number 2. I mean, some of them have really, really stepped it up. I mean, another one that even though we bought him this summer that I've been really impressed with is Pedro Neto. I mean, I
thought he was good yesterday.
He's a good player. He's a good player. He tracks back. He fights hard for the ball. He's always bombing it up and down that wing. His pace is absolutely electric, and I think he's a good player. So yeah, I mean, look, yesterday a 0-0 draw at Everton. Would we have liked to have won? Yes. Would it have put us top of the league? Yes, but it would have lasted an hour because Liverpool then went and absolutely annihilated Tottenham, which was just like.
Man,
I mean,
I watched it with a Spurs fan yesterday, so it was even better. And he was all over the place. I saw him this morning. I said, "Oh, you're still with us. And he said, I don't want to speak about Spurs at all. We've got to get rid of this man from the club. I'm like, they're so Ange out at the moment. Um, I watched it. I thought Liverpool were sensational, actually.
Yeah,
Won't we?
they really
Probably
were.
the best they've been all season, if ever. Spurs, to give Spurs some credit, they had no backline, no keeper,
Yeah.
an 18-year-old midfielder in centre half, which seemed weird to do that. Surely you've got an 18-year-old centre half in the
Yeah.
academy that you could put in
They
there.
keep playing Archie Gray out of position. It's just so bizarre. They bought this kid and they've literally played him in every single position, bar a holding midfielder. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
It
it is. It is
really
weird,
is
but like when
bizarre.
you saw Liverpool yesterday, man, they were on fire. But what was crazy, and we said this through the game, it looked like Spurs had 10 or 9 men at times, where Trent had so much room to cross that ball, where it was almost like a training game. And I think they gave goals away really because they were so far up. They were never in doubt, were they?
I mean, Mo Salah as well is just he what a player he is. I mean, what a player. He is just 16 games, 15 goals and 11 assists already.
Yeah. It's the first player to ever do it, isn't he? Is it
Yes.
6 seasons, 10 goals and 10 assists?
Yeah.
And no,
First ever.
to reach it by
First ever
Christmas.
by Christmas to get 10 of each is what it is.
It's incredible, isn't it? What did you think of the game, Chris?
I mean, I tell you what I think, mate. I thought that it was very encouraging that we came off these two draws where you could, where if there was a game, Tottenham can put goals past you as well. Obviously, they scored three against us, which is, which is you could look at as a negative. But I thought, go at Tottenham, if we were going to have a wobble, this might have been a game that, where the pressure of, oh God, we've dropped 4 points over two games,
Yeah.
and going to Tottenham away, and and the fact that we absolutely marmalised them and were so
Oh,
good kind of makes you go, hello, barring an injury to that spine of the team, you've got to feel good about our chances. And I've got something else to say on that as well, because again, as a Liverpool fan, it's ingrained in you not to get ahead of yourself, because we've been battered over the years, especially with City recently. So you don't
yeah.
want to you want to be kept. But then I watched this guy on a thing the other day, and a Liverpool fan on one of the other chats, and he was like, and he was talking openly about the fact, yeah, we should get this wrapped up by spring, and then we can focus on the Champions League. And there was a bit of me that was going, whoa, 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 don't say that, don't be like that. And then I thought, hang on, should we be thinking like that? Should we expect this
Yeah, I
team
think you
that we
should.
are, to actually deliver? Because we do look so much better than the rest of the teams this year. And, again, in terms of the mentality of how you go into these games and go into these seasons, I should say, expecting to win, when successful people in all walks of life, they again, I've talked about it before, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And there's a bit of me that goes, maybe we should be a little bit, give them more credit and go, well, yeah, we should win this. And maybe that then you can replay
I,
it in spring, and when we're 10 points down, and look at me like I'm an idiot. But I'm gonna
no,
I'm,
but
I'm
I
gonna
do
change
agree with
it.
you on that. I do agree with you on that. I think Liverpool, they do look the real deal. I think last night, look, they're against a team. Look, with against a team at 11th in the league, they're not flying at all, Tottenham.
No,
And it's quite funny. I think Ange, I was actually expecting him to be fired this morning. I think he's very close. The Spurs fans don't want him there anymore. It's got bitter. He's kind of fighting with Jamie Carragher and other pundits now who constantly question him. The constant question is always there. Well, you're not going to change it. Well, he keeps saying, well, no, like, stop asking me it. It's stupid.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Weirdly, and I said this yesterday, I actually think Ange Postecoglou is at the wrong club, and I think he should be the West Ham manager. And no, and it's funny. I think
The
Ange
Spurs,
Postecoglou is everything that our fan base is actually wants.
and he wouldn't have to
And
move.
But it's just
He wouldn't
one
have to move out.
direction attack in football. What are you going to do when I mean,
Well, no, because I think what people get confused with West Ham is West Ham want to see us go for teams. They don't want to see us play Liverpool and have 11 men behind the ball. That's what West Ham fans don't want. They want to see us play Bournemouth and go at it. Not like we did at Brighton, where we're at home. Brighton were pretty poor, to be honest with you. We've been quite lucky over the last few weeks. We've
They
had
should have won it,
Bournemouth on their
Brighton.
poor day.
I mean, how many chances did they
Brighton,
have?
and then we went five in midfield when we went 1-1, and it kind of then set everyone back, like just to sit and defend it. Whereas Postecoglou wouldn't do that. He'd go for the game. And I think West Ham fans actually, I don't know for how long, but I think they would actually respect that we're going for games and losing them rather than not going for games and losing them. And I think his attitude, everything he kind of stands for, I think the West Ham fans would actually really, really get behind him. I really do. I've always thought it. And I sort of said it to someone yesterday and he kind of went, you might actually be right with that. He said, like, that is kind of what West Ham's looking for. They want that. That's what they want to have a go at. So I don't know. It would be so. I'd love to take him.
He's a great
You got
fella.
Chris?
He's a great fella.
Yeah.
I love watching his interview. I love, his Australian, his authenticity. That he's you're not entertained. That can only get you so far, though, can't it? If you're losing every game, but you're having a go, it only and it's funny. Arne Slot was. Do you hear what he said this week about it? He was singing his praises, saying he loves the style of football he plays, and I mean, I'm sure he did against us yesterday, but you could see he was being very genuine in his praise.
But the difference, I suppose, in manager there and top level manager, I couldn't tell you Liverpool this because they change it so many times within the game to suit the game, which is absolutely what you should do, in my opinion, rather than we're going to just keep playing from the back to there so everyone knows exactly what you're doing constantly. Liverpool changed it up. They went long. Look at Trent's cross for, was it Diaz header? Was it, or
Diaz header, wasn't it? It was amazing.
Diaz header, an amazing ball and an amazing header. But it came from deep. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful.
They played very well.
But I just think, I just think he's got it right. And I think he's getting his tactics right. I think he handled the game well. I think Ange is on real borrowed time now. I really do. At Tottenham, I think it's not going well. They really don't want him there. I don't know who Tottenham go for as the next step. They've had Mourinho, they've had Conte, now they've had Ange. They want a blend of both, I suppose, like everyone, and maybe Slot's kind of that man. Maresca's doing that sort of thing because I look at Chelsea and I don't think Chelsea can win the league with that defence. I really don't.
No.
I think that's. I think they could this year because there's not really standout teams, but I think slowly Liverpool are showing in games that they are that standout team.
Did you see the big news out of Arsenal this morning that Saka's torn his hamstring?
Oh,
yeah, so
I've seen that.
And that's because Arsenal, all of a sudden, I've got to say, Arsenal looked very good the other day. Very weird that Declan Rice was on the bench, came on, scored set a goal up and scored one. But I was sitting with an Arsenal fan who said, yeah, it's good he's on the bench. He's just not that good.
What?
So
really?
It is funny that the Arsenal fans, a bit like Spurs in a way, they get on someone quick if they're not performing. But I also think Dec's not playing in his right position. I don't think he ever has. Arteta sees him as like a left-sided eight a lot of time. I think Dec is a centre half, a central defensive midfielder, and they're trying to get goals out of him and all these stuff that I don't think is his game. I was always surprised with Dec. I always thought, and I think if he went to City, I always felt he would have gone back into centre half where he actually started. Because you think how good he would be on the ball and defensively in that position where Pep loves, he's over the years with Mascherano, Yaya Toure, he's made that player a lot. I just think
That's,
that's where he
that's a
probably would
fair
have
point.
played.
By
I
the way,
think at Manchester United, he could have been a great defender there.
we should say as well, we've been chatting for 20 minutes. We haven't mentioned Man City once yet. That's,
No, well, we're going to come to them.
my
Yeah,
God,
it
what
is.
is
It's not. I've
going
got to
on?
say, I thought Villa were fantastic.
Yeah, they were. That ball from Tielemans for that first goal, what a pass that was.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was incredible, wasn't it? And it was. Do you know what? I watched them again play out from the back with a keeper that can do it straight through the middle, straight through the lines to Tielemans. Tielemans played it straight through. Two balls for the keeper to the midfielder, straight through. One pass, goal. It was beautiful, and that is. See, I accept that of playing out of the back. That
Yeah.
is how you play out from the back with a keeper that can. Great pass straight into the midfield, straight pass, which is a bloody hard pass, especially for a keeper to do. That straight, we've seen that straight pass get caught so many times, and I think Villa. I thought Morgan Rogers was incredible in that game. Thought
great player.
he looked the real deal.
He's an ex-City Academy player. Another Carl Walker.
I saw that. I actually didn't
Thomas.
know that until the game. Actually, it was
Yeah.
someone mentioned it to me.
Yeah,
I
him.
thought he was very good.
What do we think? What do we think, Pep? What do we think about Pep? What's going to do? We think he goes this season?
If it
I
carries, I
think if
think
it carries on, I
yeah.
believe.
Changes got to figure
I
it
think
out.
he walks. I really do.
Yeah, I think it goes. If it carries on, they finish outside the Champions League. If they get knocked out of if they don't even qualify for the what's it called, that Champions League playoff round.
Yeah.
Do you know what I will say? Just actually talking about the Champions League, like how we all grumble and complain every time there was a change, like when they got rid of the away goals, and then when they got rid of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like the what's it called, got rid of the group stages, but it's definitely made it way more entertaining this year's Champions League. And the ironic, funny thing about it is it's the biggest two fingers up at Florentino Perez's face about the whole Super League, because they basically brought the Super League in.
They
But
just done it, didn't they?
Yeah, they just did it. And you know what? I think it's great. I think it's been very exciting. We're coming into the last two rounds of the Champions League, where traditionally speaking, it would be done. All the group stages would be done. You'd know which teams were through because they've won their first four games in a row. Now, City could be not getting knocked out in these latter rounds. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Well, the good thing about this new format is there's always not only one, a couple, or maybe more great games.
100%.
Like you're seeing two giants go against each other sort of every single week, aren't you? Like Liverpool, we've had Liverpool, Madrid, City, Juve. We've had a lot of big games, haven't we? So I think it has been exciting, but Pep, I think it's worrying. I've got to be honest with you. There's a bit of me that sat down the other day that there's a lot of excuses with City. Oh, Rodri's missing, right? But that team, you look at the bench on Saturday. There was Kevin De Bruyne, arguably the world's best midfielder, on the bench. You've got Doku, Savio. These are £70 million, £50 million players on the bench. Nathan Ake's on the bench.
Yeah, there's something obviously going on behind the scenes, I would say, more than what we know about, and whether maybe they've had.
Is there something going on with Pep and De Bruyne? I know they've fielded some questions, and De Bruyne has poured a bit of water on it over weeks, but it does seem he doesn't play anymore, does he?
Well, I just don't think he's back to full fitness, and you need a fully fit running De Bruyne, because De Bruyne is the heartbeat of that team, and it's such a pressured role when you're that, call it that, although he's not the number 10, but when you are that, call it that number 10 for City. And if he's not up to it and he can't play that fast attacking style of football that Pep wants to do, that they've done for so many years, I mean, maybe he just doesn't want to expose him or risk him to another injury or something like that. He's going to be 34 coming up in the summer, De Bruyne, so maybe he's just lost a yard of pace. I mean, it's crazy what's going on at City. Like, we all thought this would have been maybe like a couple of game blip. They would have been back on form.
Yeah.
They would have been back on top. Now, did you watch Match of the Day this weekend?
No, I haven't seen it.
So Shearer did, I think it was Shearer, did a very interesting analysis of the City performance after the game, and just the exposure that they've got in their midfield right now.
It's huge. There's holes everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. There's holes everywhere. Like they're not chasing, they're not tracking down like they used to. They're not blocking out that through ball anymore, and it's exposing them. They're
And he's
getting
bigger than Rodri.
100%. I mean, like
But
they're
that's where if Pep's such a great coach that and listen, we're not turning all of a sudden 11 games and he's become a terrible, terrible manager. That's for sure. But if he's such a great coach, does he keep doing the same? Why do we keep seeing Gundogan and Bernardo sitting there every single week? It's kind of, it's the same thing over and over again. Surely you've got to come up with something, whether it's a kid from the academy or John Stones going in there or someone different and go, right, we've got to try something different here. We're going to rip up the play, but we're going to got to go somewhere different. It's not working. So that's where you look and go, there's a bit of Russell Martin, a bit of Ange there to say, well, I'm doing it my way and screw the results almost. Find it a bit weird.
but does he have a
Well,
plan B? Does he have a plan B?
but if he's such a
Maybe,
great,
well, no,
he's got to come through this, hasn't he? Like if he's the best ever and being talked about in that way, I think I wouldn't love to see him get through it honestly because I know what they've done to us. But I mean, I do think the optics of him walking would be. I think that would be really disappointing. I think there's a certain amount of curiosity. What's he going to do next? How is the best manager ever going to react to this? And to I get he's probably knackered. I bet the whole team's knackered. Honestly, I mean, having done what they've done
no,
to
and that's where I say with the walk, I think it could be they get to like a Jurgen Klopp situation where he actually says, you know what, guys, I actually do need the break. And maybe I'm not the man to carry it forward. I haven't got it in me. And I think that might be the walk rather than I'm out of here because I think he's got a lot of respect for it with City and things like that. But I think he might look at it and go, I actually do need to. I think he probably is a bit tired. Look, it's a long time. He's been managing, I think I looked at it in the top level 16 years.
yeah.
So that's a long time.
Here's a question for you
We
guys.
think of Pep as a young manager, actually, but he's 16 season.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you think Jurgen Klopp would have walked if we had a crystal ball and he could have seen how much of a shocker of a season City would have been having this year?
No, no, no,
He would have
no.
found that
I
extra
think
bit.
I think I think, I think he would have loved this season.
Yeah.
He would have
Yeah,
loved this,
maybe.
you know.
But maybe he wouldn't have got it over the line. Who knows?
I
It,
tell you, it's
it, it has,
what
maybe
was
the
done.
change was good for Liverpool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I mentioned a couple ago. I mean, the fact that Slops come in and almost been able to take the same group of players and get another 5 or 10% out of those players when, candidly, we couldn't do that last season. I mean, his style of play and what he's having this team, the same team do, it's extraordinary, guys. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Arne Slot is definitely more adaptable and tactically. Because
Yes.
I noticed it the other day. I say he changed his tactics within the game. But and I say this like with Tottenham, right? For example, they can't defend, for example. But surely there's if you're playing a game, right, and your manager says we want you to play out from the back, right? You're not robots, right? So you're not all just going to say, oh no, the manager does got to tell us we've got to do this part. The manager doesn't tell you each pass you do every single pass or whatever. There's got to be a bit of you that go, like Spurs got back to 2-1, right? They'd been battered. They got lucky to be back at 2-1 just before half time. Surely someone in the team goes, boys, get tight in here or backs to the wall. We get to half time and we can do it. And it seems naivety and it seems almost that's what used to happen with football. But now the manager's plan is almost like something that the players hide behind of like, well, the manager has to come out and defend it every week rather than actually saying, because I can't imagine Ange says, I don't want you guys to defend. Like, I don't imagine that that's ever been uttered out of his mouth. And there's some things that are hard, like obviously Fraser Foster and like was a bit all over the place on some of the
He's awful,
goals. And
mate. He's a great shot stopper, but with his feet,
Yeah.
terrible.
Know
Absolutely
your limits. That
terrible.
Harry Enfield thing from years ago.
I
Oh,
mean,
he was, yeah, it was very poor. But surely there's got to be some players that go, right, let's sit in. We get to half time. We'll be 2-1. We're in this. And then maybe the Ange ball comes back in again. But they just went gun ho, left it all open. It was 3-1 at the break. It was done at the break. Like that as soon as they scored the third,
yeah,
that game was
it was
finished.
over. It was over. Yeah, I mean, they just,
And
it really
you
just,
go in at 2-1, Tottenham fans are still in it. Okay, we were at a bad half. We can still go and do it. And that's what I think some of this tactical prowess of managers has almost overshadowed the lackadaisicalness of players. Because you look at it and think, there's no leaders in there. Because I'm sure at Manchester United, and you've heard older players say it in old teams, they said, like, we knew we weren't thing. We had to get on the ball. We had to make sure just get the passes short, just keep the ball for a bit, and just kill them down a little bit, kill down a little bit, and get back on it and find a rhythm. And that's all of us have played football. You know you have to do that. Put in a big tackle or something to raise the crowd or something. But it seems a lot of these players hide behind the manager's tactics, I think, and it's weird.
I do
Yeah,
think their defense, I do think they were unlucky the fact that they were missing their goalkeeper, their left back, their two centre backs, and all of that. Because like it's,
Without a doubt. Like, listen, and one thing I'll give Ange, he doesn't actually mention it.
he
He
did.
didn't. He doesn't
I did
even.
see him say it. I did see him say that yesterday. He was like, "Mate, yeah, we ain't got none of our defenders and all of that." It was.
Which
he's
it's
not from Patrick
fair. Like,
Townsend.
yeah, but like so then we get on to the next one, Manchester United.
Oh my
Um,
goodness me!
I
Embarrassment.
feel a bit sorry for Amarin. I've got to be honest with you at the minute, and I
Yeah,
think he's going to get the time. I think because
They should give him the
I think
time.
he's uncovered. Do you know what?
Well,
Obviously, we've seen the Rashford since our last episode. Rashford was dropped, then comes out and does the interview, which basically signals the end. There's no
yeah.
way now Amarim can't play, and he's not going to.
He's
He's
lost the
saying
changing room apparently, Rashford, because he did that. The players are apparently really annoyed with him for doing that.
because it's just you
hang on,
know
say that
what
again. Sorry, the players are annoyed at.
With Rashford for doing that interview.
Should be. They
Yeah.
should be. It's a disgrace because now he's
Well,
put
he
the club
didn't.
on
He
the back
turned.
foot
He
from
came up. He
negotiating.
came in apparently from training the next day. Trained really well. Next day, he called in sick. Done the Times interview and was released the next day. So now the manager, he's killed the manager really. Um,
Well,
but
he's
the
killed
manager
the
said, "No
club,
worry."
Sam. He's killed the
Yeah,
club.
I think he
Now
has.
the club owns the contract, and they're going to have to sell him. And now they've affected their negotiation position from trying to get the right price for him. I mean, it's honestly, it's tantamount. I think it's not a breach, but it's close. It's it's
I
it's
think it
it's
is.
offside. It's really
Yeah,
offside.
I think it. And do you know what? I saw him yesterday, and actually, the post actually was praising him. Right, he was in the tunnel, and before the game, and it said, "Look at Rashford. He's got time for the fans," and he was doing photos, right? And I looked at him, and he's in the Manchester United stuff. He's got a woolly hat on with the hood up, right? And I looked. It's obviously cold there. No one else has a hood up. Not one person, right? He's in the Manchester United tunnel. Everyone knows who he is. So you're not sitting in the stands hiding who you are. And I just thought that's exactly what he's saying. You're at Manchester United, take the hood down. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
What do we got your hood up for? You're not Jay-Z, do you know what I mean? It's not you're Marcus Rashford who plays for Manchester United. Be there in a suit. Like it's a or whatever. But it's just the way he carries himself. And that little bit there, I think, was what the manager was saying with, I look at the way you're dressing and things like that. It's like a disrespect of the club. I think I'll bring it back to Bobby Moore, who would always wear his shirt tucked in immaculately. And when he collected the World Cup of the Queen, this great video that when he goes up to collect the World Cup from the Queen, he wipes his hands across the drapery that's over the Queen. He's you actually see him. He's wiping the mud off because he knows he's about to shake the Queen's hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's the respect
Yeah.
that he had. That was the his thought of when he was going to pick a World Cup up, was to make sure his hand was clean because it was going to touch the Queen. And that's what you play for Manchester United, you play for Liverpool. That's what it is, or Real Madrid, or these big clubs.
Did you hear? I thought it was interesting as well. Slot's comments about Salah and his attitude that he talked about this week. That was something that was, I thought.
No, I haven't heard it.
Well, that was to the other end of the spectrum. I mean, Salah obviously doing what he's doing, even with his contract stuff, which again he didn't mention, but didn't elaborate, which I thought was good. He just said no news and moved on. But he talked about his attitude and how he's always there. He's helping the team. He doesn't get too big for his boots. What is it? He keeps his feet on the ground. And he's probably Egypt's biggest star. He's a massive, significant
global star,
and he's a superstar. And it would be easy and understandable to let that sort of cockiness seep in, and that's what can affect the team. And that's what you've got to avoid. And that's what I think Amrin is doing extremely well. Is he's obviously getting rid of that. No matter how good Rashford could be, generational talent, he obviously isn't.
I'll tell you a lot of the difference between that and with the professionalism is like look at who Mo Salah goes home to every day, and look who Marcus Rashford goes home to every day.
Yes,
Salah goes home to the nice wife. We don't even know her name. She's that understated. She stays. Does her thing with the kids. They do whatever.
That's why we've got to get him a new contract, Sam.
I know, mate. I know.
100%, because he ticks every box.
He really does.
Marcus Rashford's old woman just dumped him yesterday
because she's off on Love Island now.
Gone back onto Love Island. He's having a bad time. I feel a bit sorry for him here. It's all falling apart on it for old Rashford.
When you're getting dumped.
But again, that's what's disappointing is after there's two ways he could go after what happened last week when he was dropped. Could have put his head down and actually tried to do something, or you go and throw your dollies out and take a press conference.
And he's thrown the dolls out. And actually, I think what he'll understand, when you leave Manchester United, it goes down. I know Manchester United are in 13th place, right? You leave a club like Manchester United, you are not ever getting back to that level ever again. Because I don't care. I don't think. I really don't. I think they'll look at all of this and just go, not for us. Also, he's on massive wages. He's on 300 odd grand a week.
That's true. They
I just don't see it. I think the only place he's going is Saudi. That is where I think he's going.
Yeah. No,
I've seen it mooted about Arsenal, but I think that would be a terrible signing for Arsenal to make. Because it would be another one of those duds that they've bought in that haven't kind of do it again.
He's showing that he's not a team player. It's not a great advert for what he's doing. Is he's showing that his attitude does stink? And do you want to bring that toxicity in, to a team environment, especially in Arsenal, who's obviously on fire right now, and I think will be the people that we have to beat this year. And
they had a good win this weekend, Arsenal. I mean, Crystal Palace, they beat them twice in a week, and I mean,
and Jesus back scoring.
Let's see if he does it against a couple more teams. If he does it, I mean, Palace.
Yeah, no, he got. But if he can start nicking him goals, especially now Saka's gone, it could be that he gets them goals that keep them going. So that was 5 in a week, which is a lot of goals in a week.
And they need Havertz to step back up again because he's kind of gone off the boil a bit.
A little bit. And I'd say Arsenal share their goals around a little bit, don't they? They kind of did that last year. But I got to say, I thought Arsenal were good. I think they are. I think Arsenal will kick themselves because I think this was the best chance they ever had of winning this league. Same with Liverpool.
Did you see that?
But I think Arsenal, before the season, you said they were the front runners. If City weren't there, say you take City completely out of here, I think Arsenal were definitely the front runners.
Did you see that funny interview with Mikel Arteta in the week where they were talking to him about his, call it, lack of major trophies at the club?
I saw.
And he turned around and said, "What are you talking about? I've won 3 major trophies at this club." And they're like, "What?" And he goes, 2 charity shields.
Yeah.
Just like when you when you're gripping onto that as your major trophies, I mean, yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. One
But
F.
again, he's been up against City. I do think I think Arsenal got a very good chance in a Champions League,
Oh,
as good as anyone.
I'd be ill
I
if I'd
think
be so ill if they won
I
it.
think Liverpool have. Um, I think Arsenal have. I think they both have got very good chances. Villa are going strong in it still. I don't think they'll have enough Villa, but I think Villa on their day can beat anyone. I think they whether they get on their
You can't ever
day.
leave out Real Madrid out of that conversation. Did you see him? Have you seen Mbappe's last two performances for them? By the way,
Did anyone see the goals last night from Real Madrid?
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Valverde and Mbappe, like it's just what a joke. Like,
They're outrageous, these
unbelievable,
goals.
unbelievable.
Mbappe,
It's almost Real Madrid. Like
I don't even know
they'll get to the
if
end and they'll
anyone's
win
hit
it.
a ball as hard as Mbappe hit that ball last night.
Mhm.
It's like a rocket, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's done it twice in a week. He did it literally last
He's,
weekend as well.
See, but that's he was
yeah.
getting toasted, wasn't he? And look
Hmm.
how he's reacted.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why he's amazing.
I
He's had
think
it
as fans,
well.
we all definitely get over the top. Like someone wins one week, someone loses next week. They're rubbish. They've won the league now. They've done it, and then the next week it changes, and that's why a lot of managers say, "Listen, it's a long way to go," and it really is because you lose three on spin, you're completely out of it.
So
Well,
look at Erling
we've
Haaland now.
we're now
Yeah,
Liverpool have been top at Christmas more than any other team. I think we've been top at
I
Christmas.
saw that.
You
That's
have
quite
20,
mad
20,
stat, there,
20,
isn't it?
I know.
20
And we've
times.
only and we've got the worst conversion record
I
as a
was going
club.
to say 11 out of those
11
20.
out of 20. Yeah.
That's
And we've
quite
had
insane. Record that is.
it is. It is. It is. Well, I'm going to say this season's the one we're going to change it. I believe we are. I
Yeah, I
really.
think so. Listen, I think it's a very good opportunity for you to win the league or the Champions League this year. I think there's chance for all there because I don't think, as I say, the Champions League doesn't look as strong. Real Madrid haven't been as strong. Bayern Munich haven't been as strong. PSG are not as strong. Juve is not as strong. So there's quite a lot of teams that sort of are faltering this year. I saw as well in Spain, Atletico just went top.
They did.
They just
Arsenal
beat
won against
Barca. I
last
saw
minute
it
winner.
was Simeone's first ever win at the Nou Camp as the manager of Atletico,
Really?
which is quite amazing, like incredible. So he's been there
I
about
remember them winning. I remember
15
them
years or something, hasn't he?
I remember him winning the league there with, I think Diego Godin scored years ago. It might have been a 1-1 draw in that game, but they needed a point.
Must have been because it said this week it was his first ever win at the Nou Camp.
That's crazy, isn't it? And it was a last minute winner. They
Yeah,
look
it
good.
was like 90. Did you see the goal? The guy
Yeah, yeah.
crossed it.
Mm-hmm.
Both centre halves miss it, and then he puts it in. Like
And
literally, both
and you
centre
know
halves.
what? And
Literally,
they've been hammering that guy. I think his name's is it Sorlot? I think his name is the guy that scored
don't
the
know his
last
name.
winner. They bought him off. I'm pretty sure they bought him off like Girona or one of those teams because he was one of those that he had a great one. He was a one season wonder. He's gone
Yeah,
to a big club, and he's really struggled there this year. But now that he came on and did that, like they're loving him as you can imagine. Interestingly enough, I was also reading another article. Do you know who else they're also absolutely loving? There is Conor Gallagher right now.
yeah, I've seen that as well. I think he's doing really well there.
Plays every game, plays 90 minutes pretty much every game, is becoming like a real linchpin in that team with Rodrigo de Paul in the midfield. And yeah, they're top of the league in Spain. I mean, they're doing really, really well. Good luck.
Yeah, but Madrid are not far off. So Madrid, I think, have
No.
got a Real. Have got 2 games in hand on Barca,
Yeah.
one on Atletico, and I think they go a point behind Atletico if they win them both. So
Right.
so the Spanish league. So it was doom and gloom at Real Madrid all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden it seems to be back as well. So they could still be in the Champions League.
100%. You can
Again, the finals one. Like, look at us. Like we were all over Real Madrid in Paris a few years ago, and
Yeah,
they'll probably be thereabouts, and they just know how to win. That one, I'm
it
not.
is incredible how Madrid can always get to the in our
Yeah.
lifetime. How many times Madrid have been in that final?
They're just
Like
nasty.
it's incredible.
They expect it.
Like
That's
how
like
they always do it.
They expect to win. Like they're winners. They know how to do it.
Their mentality.
By the way,
And
speaking of winners, I can't believe none of you have commented on my colours have been up for an hour now after Eric.
Yeah,
No one's even mentioned
King
it.
Eric.
Like,
Cantona over there.
there we go.
Yeah, King Eric. Look at him.
Eric.
But yeah, no. So it's been a fun week. It's been I'd say I've been a bit jet lagged watching it, or I'm tired. Like so, it's been tough. And
I don't
obviously, if
know.
anyone's listening, obviously,
Yeah,
oh,
12 hours.
it's a 12 hour it's a 12-hour time difference, and it's a 16-hour flight from LA to Dubai. You've done it before, haven't you, Chris?
I have. It's brutal. It's absolutely
It is.
brutal.
I've got to be honest with you. It has killed me. The kids. We've been up at 2 a.m. every single morning. So I've literally listened to every podcast going. So I've kind of caught up on football a little bit in the middle of the morning, and then I've been up. I've been awake at 2 o'clock every day for the last week, and then I go to bed around 11:10 every day. So I'm like up nearly 20 hours a day. Like it's
Oh,
absolutely
whoa, whoa,
insane.
whoa! Look what's happening here.
Oh, look who's joining. Look who's gracing us with his
Oh
presence.
my God!
He's come
Tony
to
all
Oh,
the way from
Tony.
Paris.
is Tony in?
He's trying. It looks like he's trying.
Hang on, hang on.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
oh, he's it. Oh, there he is.
He's come to gloat about the
Nice of you
weekend.
to join us, Tone.
I'm in sunny Liverpool, and I thought I couldn't.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't let this one go without making a quick
Looks
appearance
nice
to
and
go
sunny.
to about
Looks nice
Liverpool
and
being
sunny
top of the league.
Guest appearance.
What's that?
Well played.
Nice
Yeah,
of you to join us, Tone. It's nice to see you taking the podcast very serious. You just do it on your
Well,
own
I mean, you know,
time. Not like we've got
we've all
kids.
got to have
You
a
ain't
day
even got
off.
kids.
I know. By the way, I think my audio. I've got a whole family behind me here going bananas. I don't know if you. I mean, so I apologise. I don't.
No, yeah, and to anyone listening, apologies. We're not in our a beautiful studio of my house this week, but we are. The next few weeks are going to be the sound is good. The
Discombobulated.
picture quality is not going to be good, but we're here. We're still talking about football.
What
That's all that matters.
I know I've just jumped into the middle of you boys talking about something. What were you talking about?
Liverpool are going to win everything this year, so that's what we're saying.
We're just saying how well Liverpool were. We talked earlier about how good Liverpool were yesterday. They were so probably I think Liverpool's best game yesterday, even though Spurs were bad. I think Liverpool was so good yesterday. I thought they were. We said earlier what struck me most about Liverpool this week was I couldn't tell you the way they play because they changed the way they play throughout the game to suit the game.
They do. Yeah.
And I think that is testament to the manager not being stuck in a way of one way. We saw some long balls. We saw some balls over the top. We saw big, deep crosses from Trent. We saw lovely through balls. There was passing at the back when it was right. It was all. There was Allison done a beautiful
They changed it.
throw.
I haven't seen that in a while from a manager. Yeah, I
Me
haven't seen
either.
that in a while from a manager. He changes. He probably has 3 or 4 different ways of playing every game.
Yeah.
Superb. Even
And
when
do
we
you know
played
what's funny
Newcastle,
as well?
even
Curtis
when he
Jones isn't even getting in.
And he's looked amazing this season. Like Curtis
Yeah,
Jones.
well, I mean,
That's Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
he
On the
has been
bench.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's not because he's not deserving of being in. I just think he likes to change that midfield around. I think that's what it is. I think Jones might play on Boxing Day
He swaps him with
against
Somerset,
Leicester.
doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
Somerset runs like he's got 12 AA batteries in each heel. You know,
Yeah,
he's
Where did
that guy
Slobosai
doesn't
come
stop
from?
running.
Hungary, the
Hungary,
Salzburg or Leipzig, wasn't it?
He's Hungarian, but would you
Yeah,
mean
that's
who we
right.
signed him from?
Good
Yeah.
recall, Sam. Yeah.
It's like Leipzig or something like that, wasn't it?
Leipzig. He's a good player, isn't he?
I've got a question for the panel. If we can keep one out of the 3, Verge, Salah, Trent, who are you keeping?
Salah.
They
Salah.
did this, didn't they, on Sky Sports?
Yeah.
Um,
I think so.
I mean, they all said Van Dijk, and I would agree. Because
Really?
Salah,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, without the foundation. I mean, listen, I love Salah, obviously. I love them all. Keep all of them. Why limit yourself?
By the way, didn't Trent say what he wants for Christmas? He wants to pen to sign a contract. Did I hear that right?
Say that again?
Didn't Trent Alexander, when he was asked what does he want for Christmas, a pen to sign the contract? Isn't that what he said? Did he say that? Did I hear that right, or have I missed that?
I don't know if he did that.
I'm putting it into the words. I hope that's what it does.
But
Yeah.
which team he signed him with?
Did he say which team the contract was for?
Yeah.
Well, there's a question.
Was he talking about the Real Madrid contract?
Would you begrudge him going to Real Madrid?
No, I wouldn't.
Do you think he'll be remembered like Steve McManaman?
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't begrudge him, but
I think out of the three, I do think he's the most replaceable. I think you can always replace a right back.
Yeah.
In a team,
I know,
probably
mate, but
more than a centre half and a right wing.
Look at that cross and look at his composure.
No, but you can get someone else to cross that ball. The right winger can cross that box.
He came on the other week and he just changed the game. I mean, he's pretty.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that he's not playing well, but I just think if out of the three, if you have to replace one of them. I think a right back is easier to replace than a guy that scores
I think if you're looking
25
at it
goals
from
a year.
positional point. Yeah, I think if you're looking at it from a positional point, obviously the right back is not the most important position, but I don't think there's anybody on the planet who is playing balls like he is right now. I don't think there's a person on the planet who's doing it, and
no,
that's.
I've got to say, yesterday as well, I saw him play a few balls with his left foot as well. There was a couple that didn't make it, but a couple that did. The left foot was very good as well.
Yeah, if you can play balls with your right foot, you've got to be able to do something decent with your left. You know, that's how he's that good. So I don't know. I mean, for me, it'd be Van Dijk because we have more strikers than what I wouldn't maybe not what we need, but we have more strikers than what we use every week right now. Trent is, like you say, he's a right back, and a right back's
and you got Conor Bradley.
Right back. We got Conor Bradley, yeah, which it's just a different way of playing when Conor Bradley plays, but Van Dijk.
This season, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think in this day and age, you can probably weirdly change the centre half easier than anyone else. I don't think there's. I know there's not. I know because I think there's not many great centre halves. To be honest,
Van Dijk,
I don't think there's amazing strikers out there.
The thing with Van Dijk is this, Sam. I think it's the effect that he has on the other team when they see that he's there and they go, "Fuck, how are we going to get past him?" And adversely, when he's not there, it gives them a boost. You know, he's that. It's like, oh,
but I also, you know what else I think, Chris, as well as that, is I think he makes the three people playing next to him in defence better because he's so aware of what's going on around him.
He
marshals it.
That's right.
He makes Gravenberch a better player as well, by the way, and Gravenberch has been maybe Liverpool's best player. He makes Gravenberch.
Look, and let's be honest with you, Joe Gomez, who's been at Liverpool probably longer than he probably should have, because Konate's, I think, a very good player. Gomez, I think, is a good player, but Gomez is not a top centre half. And when he plays really next to him, he is.
Time though, there was a time under Klopp when they thought he might be before he got injured.
Yes, but what I mean is he hasn't reached that level.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
boys, listen, I wanted to drop in. I've got to go out. So I've just got to Liverpool. I've got to
get your priorities right, Tony. Get your priorities.
But there's
probably
no
going out nicking some wheels off cars. Dirty bastard.
Such a charmer.
Make sure you say hello to all the Everton fans and your family while you're there.
You know, there's not a single Everton fan in my family. There's not.
They're all Everton.
I'm not
They're
even
all-
messing. There's not a single
He's
one.
got a blue door because his family are so Everton. Wants
Listen,
everyone to know.
when you know what I know about the Spurs fans in your family, I would keep my mouth shut if I was you.
Oh, he's
I've
got
got to
him.
go, but
Got him.
I could not come in and gloat about Liverpool being top of the league at Christmas. So
Well, hopefully
good to
we'll
see
get
you
your
boys.
box. We're going to watch. Hopefully we get you after that time. We'll speak to you later in the week.
All right,
Great to see
have a
you.
good one,
Enjoy,
boys.
mate.
See ya.
Have a good one, pal.
So it was nice to see him there, but giving us a lot of his time, obviously, with about all of 3 minutes to come in just to gloat about thingy. Now he's off out, nicking hubcaps back down in Liverpool. Take him back to
Tony's
Arizona.
world, we just live in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's very nice of him to grace us with his presence. And I think that is where we're going to wrap up. Obviously, the next shift is Boxing Day. We have got some football coming up. I think we've got Boxing Day, 27th, 28th, 30th, 31st. There's football coming everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does sort of ramp up now. So we'll be watching it. We'll try and, if we can get together, we'll try and do one over the week to try and get to get the games so they're not so spread out. But obviously, it's all permitting where we all are and what we can do. I'm pretty good at
LA
night.
next week.
You'll be back, Chris. When you back in LA?
We're in LA on the 3rd, but I'll be here. I'll be on this side. We're going to New York for New Year's, so maybe next time we'll be from the Empire State Building. Who knows?
There you go.
Oh,
There
nice.
you go.
Yeah, and we're here to the 6th. So it's so if everyone listening, hope you have a fantastic Christmas.
Yes.
Or whatever you're doing with your families. Hanukkah actually, Sam, it starts on Christmas Day this year, doesn't it? 25th.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm impressed with that.
Look, I'm up with all cultures now, see?
I was going to say, you're hanging out with your Jews in Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting. The reason I know that is because every person that I'm with is Jewish in Dubai here. Even though only one of them's a Spurs fan. It's actually weirdly Chelsea and Arsenal is the big spread. Actually, I come out of my it's a little story this morning. Come out of my bedroom this morning, and guess who was in front of me?
Go on.
Luka Modric
Really?
on the bench last night for Real Madrid, and he was here. I've probably just blown him. He's probably just got 300 grand fine for not telling the club he's here or something. But came out, and do you know what was funny? It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went, "Oh look, it's David Guetta," like that, and then I went, "Oh no, it's not." Luka Modric. And that is honestly what I thought. And then I went to my boy. I went, James, look. I said, "It's Modric there," and he went, "No, no. He knows everything, right?" So I said, "Come, walk downstairs." And funny enough, I think he was with a guy that we were with in the pub last night. So I knew the guy, and I said, and obviously never went up to him, but I went hello to the other guy, and Modric actually kind of turned away, so we didn't see who he was, but I knew him. And James was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that was Modric. I wish I'd have got a picture." I said, "No, don't ask him for a picture." I said, he's here on holiday. He's just doing his thing." But yeah, so Modric was the first person I saw this morning, which was quite funny. Nice. So I'm sure we're going to see some other footballers. We might even be able to. Be nice to nab him to get him on the pod, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
You can do. Go on, Sam.
Oh, Luca, fancy coming on a pod like 9 o'clock at night? You come and give us a bit of your time. We'll see. But I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas, safe Christmas, however you're spending it, and we will see everyone after Christmas. So we're going to try and do it this week. So everyone, I'll see you later.
All the very. Have a good one. Bye, guys.